welcome to Breakdown Beginner Flow. I'm Jake Gilmore. I'll be your instructor today. And if you're a consistent student, it's good to see you. And if you're a new student, you're in the right place. I'll take care of you as best as I can through this virtual world. So we're going to start off with a bolster, couch cushion, pillow, or folded up beach blanket, or beach towel. Something enough to where you get your hips up off the floor and kind of get above your feet a little bit. And you can always start off legs crossed, or maybe this is comfortable for you. And first things first, yoga is always about being that advocate for yourself, because you're doing it for yourself first and foremost, not anyone else, just for yourself. So if at any point you become uncomfortable, I'm going to try to give modifications, variations of what you can do, and the advocacy of yourself, of taking care of yourself. And really, this can be as deep a practice as you want as far as the stretching and the strengthening can happen, or it can run the gamut. It's what you make it. And first and foremost, just be kind to yourself and try to, as we're stretching, make some space for some love for yourself here. So, you'll need yoga blocks or thick books. I like to use, sometimes I like to use my little tie down for my mats as a belt to deepen a stretch. Sometimes I need it. So if you need something like that for like your forward fold, straight leg bends, it's good to have like a little belt with you, or just a thing of rope, just enough to throw around your foot and pull yourself towards your knee. And so let's begin by just sitting in a nice, intentional, but yet neutral spine. We're not overly rigid. And maybe close your eyes. And let's begin to inhale through the nose, filling up our lungs and our belly. Hold. Beautiful. Inhale in. And as we continue this breath, this intentional breath, begin to check in with your shoulders. Maybe they're up towards your ears. I know I could feel mine. So that next exhale, slowly let those shoulders come away from the ears. Excellent, excellent. Maybe find a smile for your face there. And let's begin to check in with the bottoms of our feet, into our ankles, into our calves, our shins, and just do a quiet check-in as we breathe intentionally in and out, and assess how our body's feeling today. Excellent job. Now begin to set your intention for your practice today. For me, it's just owning the stressors that I hear in the world, on the television, and I see through social media, and picking apart the pieces as this big ball of stress, of what I can actually change. I can change how it's affecting me. I can place a boundary as far as how much I want to interact with those around me that are in need. Sometimes just understanding that I can reach out and say, I'll make you a sandwich. I'll go get you something and bring it to you if you're in need. I can do those things. I possess the power to help others in slight, small ways. Or maybe it's just understanding that the loved one in my life, that I can reach out and I can hold their hand and just say, everything's going to be okay. Those are the things that I can take control of. Those are my powers. That is my reality. I can control how much food I eat. I can control how much water I drink. And I can control how long I want to sleep. My inner world is mine to behold. And it all begins with this breath. Let's take our right hand, place it on our left thigh, left knee. Inhale through the nose. And as we exhale, let's slowly begin just to twist and pull through, looking over that left shoulder. And just breathe through this slight, soft twist. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, return to center. Awesome. Take this moment to compare side bodies. Left hand comes to right knee. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, begin to twist, looking over the right shoulder. And breathe. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release, return back to center. Compare your side body. Right hand to left knee, inhale through the nose. Exhale, begin to look out over that left shoulder and twist. Chin coming towards that left shoulder for a little bit of a neck engagement there. Stay in touch with that breath. Stay in touch with your thoughts. Engage with your body. Slow down, be brave, and listen to your body. It wants to talk to you. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, back to neutral. Compare side body. Inhale through the nose. Left hand onto right knee. Exhale, look out over the right shoulder. Staying in connection with your body. You owe it to yourself. You're setting aside time to do these stretches. And this is the best time to start to connect with the mind-body. Practicing some gratitude for the movement that you have. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, release, return back to center. Excellent job. Now we're going to come to a tabletop on all fours. Make sure that your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips. And we're just going to come forward, come to this little side shot here. I'm going to move my bolster up and out of the way. Excellent. And if your wrists start to bark at you, you can always come up on your fist like this. Or you can always roll up your mat, which will elevate your wrist a little bit more. And from here, we're going to enter into some cat-cows, where we inhale our spine up towards the ceiling, crown of the head towards the floor. Exhale, belly towards the floor, chin comes up. And just begin to flow through this. Find your breath. Excellent job. I can just feel the tension in my lower back there. I can just feel it. It feels so good to know that I'm going to do something about it. It's very empowering. So let's come to a flat neutral spine. We're going to inhale, look back at the right foot, and exhale, come back to center. So on and so forth. Left foot, center. Just finding that flow, find your pace. No need to rush. Maybe one side feels better than the other. And again, this is just to mimic this kind of movement. But it's just controlled. Left foot. And if we're going to come off rhythm between one another, that's fine too. And neutral spine. Inhale that spine up, crown the head towards the floor. Exhale, belly towards the floor. And neutral spine. Let's look back at the right foot, back to center, and left foot, and flow. And let's come to that neutral spine. Let's extend that right leg, splay out those toes, and press that heel towards the floor. Maybe rock a little bit. Bring in the right foot, extend the left. Excellent. And left foot in, right foot out. Right foot in, left foot out. Excellent, excellent. From here, we're going to enter into our child's pose. Hips going back towards the heels. The child's pose, if you're not too familiar with it, you can always walk your knees out to the edge. If your knees are giving you a little bit of issue, you can come up on a blanket. But just making space a little bit for your stomach maybe, letting those knees come out, and just walking those hands forward. Just play with it in a way, you know, just find that spot where it feels right to you, because it's a good shoulder opener, and we're going to do a little bit more hip opening, or expressing through here, stretching through here as well. So from this child's pose, we're just going to begin to walk our hands to the right side of the mat, opening up the left side of the body there. And breathe.
Next inhale, let's walk back to the center of the mat. Compare side bodies. And here, you can kind of make little spider fingers. And see how that engages a little bit through your delts, triceps, maybe a little bit in front of your shoulders as well. Kind of pulls your lower spine up out of your hips too a little bit. Let's flatten those hands and begin to walk the hands to the opposite side of the mat. Next inhale, let's walk our hands back to the center of the mat. Go into the spider fingers. Maybe this time, grab your blocks or books and find a little bit more height there. And see how that pulls at the front of your triceps and your lats. To really spread those arms out and you have the block up like so. It's much like coming to a door frame with your hands on each side of the door frame and pressing through. How it opens up the front of your chest. And let's walk our hands to the right side of the mat. Breathe into that left side body. Next inhale, walk to the center of the mat. Spider fingers. Release those hands and walk the hands to the left side of the mat. Next inhale, walk back to the center of the mat. Let's come up into the tabletop. And from this tabletop, extend the right leg followed by the left. In a variation of this kind of plank pose, you can always let your knees, see how it kind of comes behind your hips? So that's a modification there. And we're going to inhale our hips up and press through the floor. Make sure you don't cave into it. Straight back. Maybe walk your feet a little bit forward. And it's always a good way to kind of test and see if your downward facing dog is in correct form. Is you come from this plank and inhale the hips up. Downward facing dog. Let's begin to kind of like cycle out our legs here. Great job. Staying strong in the arms and the shoulders, pressing through the mat, through the floor. And let's look forward and let's slowly walk to the top of our mat. Meeting in this forward fold. Let's keep a slight bend in the knees. Crown of the head towards the floor, letting your head hang. Arms hang. Let's grab each elbow. Forehead rests on the top of your forearm. And begin to kind of bend your legs and sway back and forth. Breathe. Release those arms. Crown the head towards the floor and breathe. And let's come to stillness. Still keeping a little bit of a slight bend in those knees. Place our hands on our knees or your shins, pressing up into a flat back. Slowly begin to straighten these legs. Crown the head towards the screen. Inhale through the nose and exhale. Begin to bend those legs and forward fold. Place the hands on the floor, extend that right leg. Followed by the left, meeting in plank. And if you need to come down to the modification, from here we're going to start the slow lower, keeping the elbows in towards your rib cage and hover. And from here, exhale, release stomach and chest on the floor, pressing up into this cobra or the upward facing dog where your thighs come up off the mat, but be mindful of your lower back. And release. Engage those feet, the back feet here, press those hips back towards the heels. Pull your hands just a little bit towards the top of your head. Inhale the hips back up into the sky, downward facing dog. Look forward and slowly begin to walk to the top of your mat. Place your hands on either, the variation is placing your hands either on your shins, knees, or top of the thighs, and just pressing up to a flat back, crown the head towards the screen. Inhale through the nose, exhale forward fold, and this time we're going to inhale slowly coming to our standing mountain pose. Letting your head hang and heads hang. Excellent. Now, from this mountain pose, check out my feet. Let's really put all of our weight into our heels, lifting our toes up off the mat, trying to splay those toes out, and then just get rooted into our feet. We should feel it on all four sides of our feet, the front, front, back, sides, and inside. This is our mountain pose. Again, let's check in with our shoulders, make sure they're not up here. Let that down here. Excellent. Let's bring those shoulders up towards the ears and roll them back. Do some shoulder rolls up and back. And let's reverse them, up and forward. And let's return to stillness. Let's just check with the body from the bottom of our feet, up into our ankles, up into our calves, our shins, our knees. And maybe just check in where your knees are at. Maybe, are you locking your knees out? Keep just a very kind, subtle bend in them, so that you do not faint. Let's meet in this mountain pose. Great job. And from this mountain pose, we're going to go into some of our warrior poses. So, mountain pose, we're going to lift up our right leg, send it back. Keep this leg straight for right now. Notice how this back foot, I have about a 45-degree angle and it's away, a little bit pointing away from my body. And we're really making sure that our body goes down into that heel. And again, just all sides of our feet are in action. So from this point, maybe your hips don't like this. So you can always go like that. You can always bring that up. Be an advocate for yourself. Take care of yourself. Again, you're doing it for yourself. So this is the proper way here. Begin to find your way. And I always like to keep my hands on my hips because sometimes it gets kind of willy-nilly. And I want to stay centered. Begin to put about a 45-degree angle in this leg to a 90-degree angle. We're going to inhale our arms up into this warrior one pose. And breathe. If you ever need to come out of it, just straighten that front leg. Kind of come into a modified triangle pose. And notice how I'm tight in my shoulders. Stress, man. My shoulders are wanting to pull me towards the screen, but I want them to square up with my hips in a way. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, left hand reaches out, right hand goes in the back, and it tracks right above this right leg. Warrior two pose. Maybe you're kind of reaching out, get centered again. Good job. Now we're going to take this right hand and place it on our lower back leg. And from here we're going to scoop our front hand, reverse the warrior. Inhale back up. Place your hands on your hips, straighten the front leg, and slowly set forward. Beautiful. Awesome job. So from here, whatever we do to one side, we're going to do the other. Lift up that left leg, send it back. Find your line. Now, the proper way is the front heel is going to be in line with your back heel. But you can always widen your stance however more comfortable you need it to be. So begin to straighten that front leg, inhale those arms up, warrior one. Great job. And breathe. Inhale through the nose, exhale, warrior two. Good job. Left hand comes down on that left leg. Scoop that right hand. Reverse. Warrior. Inhale back up. Warrior two. Straighten front leg. Hands to hips. Step forward. Excellent job. Meeting in warrior. Let's do a little bit of a standing kind of balance pose. Going to root down into that left foot, picking up our left toes as best we can, splaying them out. Go into like what you could call a little bit of a kickstand. Find a focal point in front of you, about 4 to 5 feet in front of you, or where the ceiling and the wall meet. When you have that focal point, it just helps with balance. And maybe start with your hands on your hips. Raise that foot up off the floor, and this will get it done too. So don't worry about it. If you need to, you can always reach out and hold on to something. When you're ready, grow your tree pose. And one of the variations you can have is your foot can come up into this place, or you can do a little bit of a lotus pose, where I am feeling so tight today. I'm not really focusing on my focal point, the drishti. Something like to that effect. But I would stay right here. This is my happy place. Take a couple more breaths here. One more breath. And release out. Shake out that left foot. And let's root into the right foot. Come to that kickstand mode. Hands to hips. Finding that focal point on the floor or where the ceiling and the wall meet. And grow your tree. And just breathe through it. Great job. Two more breaths here. And release. Shake it out. Great job. So let's do a little bit more flow here. So from the top of our mat, meeting in the mountain pose, we're going to inhale our arms up, slight back bend, exhale forward fold, finding the ground, slight bend in the knees, crown of the head towards the floor, placing hands on shins, pressing up to a flat back, crown of the head towards the screen. Inhale through the nose, exhale, find the floor, pick up that right foot, followed by the left, meeting in plank. Exhale, slow lower and hover, hover, hover. Release, press up into the cobra. Exhale back down, send the hips back. Child's pose. Pull those hands towards the top of the head just a little bit. Inhale those hips up, downward facing dog. Look forward, slowly walk to the top of your mat. Place hands on shins, press up into a flat back, and exhale back down. Inhale, slowly come to that standing pose. Great job. For our mountain pose, we're going to do some crescents. So from the crescent pose is essentially we're just coming from our mountain pose, which I think the mountain pose is the second hardest yoga pose there is, because your brain can get really judgy and it can wander very easily. So to be a mountain is just to become grounded
and to use that kind of beautiful analogy, the poetry that's there. So from our mountain pose, we're going to inhale, arms up. I always like to bring my hands together, clasp them together, and we're going to reach as if we have a rope. We're going to grab a hold of a rope, and we're going to inhale up and out of those hips. Exhale down to the left-hand side. Biceps strong by the ears, and your left armpit towards the screen. Don't hold your breath. Breathe through it as best as you can. Inhale up, release into a cactus. Exhale and seal it. Compare side body. The space that we're making for ourselves. It's awesome what we can do for ourselves. Inhale those arms up. Hands come together. Inhale, tighten up. Pull ourselves up and out of those hips. Exhale, right side of the body. Inhale back up, release cactus. Exhale loudly, and seal it. Awesome job. Let's do another set of those. So from here, rooting into our mountain pose. Inhale those arms up. Hands come together. A little bit, the hands are a cheat a little bit because you bring those hands together. It just feels better to me. I'm just being that advocate for myself, right? So from here, inhale, tighten up and out of our hips. Exhale to the left side. Beautiful. Biceps strong by the ears. Inhale up, release, cactus. And seal it. Awesome. So the other side, inhale those arms up. Palms come together. Inhale, tighten up. Exhale. Inhale up, release, cactus. And mountain pose. From the mountain pose, we are going to just do a little bit of a flow here now. So, at the top of our mats, inhale up, slight back bend, exhale forward fold, find the floor. Place hands on shins, come up to a flat back, and exhale back down. Send that right leg back, followed by the left. Plank or variation. Hold, 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 hold. Make sure that the booty isn't coming out. Let's find a little bit of just like a wedge. Our body's a wedge. And exhale, slow lower, hover, 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 release, press up. And exhale back down, send those hips back towards the heels, child's pose. Pull those hands towards the top of the head, engage those feet, inhale up, downward facing dog. Let's look forward and slowly walk to the top of the mat. Place hands on your shins. Flat back. Inhale through the nose. Exhale back down. Next inhale, slowly come to that standing mountain pose. Excellent job. So from here, we're going to go into some low lunge twists. And sometimes it helps to have a block nearby or your books nearby. And let's just place it at the top of our mat, just like so. We're going to inhale our arms up, slight back bend, and forward fold, finding the ground. Send that right leg back, low lunge. And if you need to, your right knee can come down to the ground like so. Matter of fact, on our next inhale, let's come up like this. And let's just place our hands on top of our thigh and just press away from the thigh and feel that pull through the front. And breathe through that. Good job. Now, my back toe, I tend to always engage in such a way
but there's another way. I like to keep my back foot engaged because I feel like the patella, that part that sits on top of your knee, feels a little bit exposed if I don't do that. So that's what I do. This is me practicing self-care. So I just want to give you that variation there. I don't know if I ever have. I'm pressing through. And let's just bring that other leg, the left leg back, send the right leg forward. And I'm going to engage my back leg there, back foot, and I'm just going to press. And notice how my right side is tighter than my left. Just our bodies are beautifully different. And some people, I've seen people get frustrated in class when they find something that they can't do correctly, which is a reasonable response. But try to see it more as kind of like a doorway of understanding of, okay, I have found what I need to work on. See it as it's a blessing in disguise. Excellent. And let's bring that right leg back. And from here, left leg comes forward. And I'm going to engage this, this right foot where I come forward and lift that right knee up off the ground. So from this angle, I'm like this. Side angle is like this. Now I can take my block, place my hand on that block, inhale that left arm up, and twist. And if you're feeling sassy, you can remove that block. Notice how the shoulders are stacked above one another, at least they should be. Excellent. And on our next exhale, you can let that left hand come down, around, pulling that left shoulder open, opening up the heart, looking up at the ceiling as best as you can, and breathe. Sinuses are bothering me today. All this wind. Inhale, left arm up, circle it down, and let's bring that right foot up, send the left foot back. Again, you always brings that left leg down. Once you can use that rule block. Inhale, right arm up. Excellent job. Always creating balance within ourselves. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let that right hand come down to the lower back, pulling the shoulder here that I'm waving at you. Up and back. Strong arms, strong legs. Engage that breath at the core. Inhale, right hand up, circle down. Bring that left leg forward, meet that forward fold. Crown of the head towards the ground. Press your hands onto your shins, pressing up into a flat back. Exhale, back down. Inhale, slowly come to that standing mountain pose. Awesome job. From this mountain pose, pick up that right leg, send it back. Enter in to warrior one. Just slowing things down. Listen to your body. If you need to straighten that leg, straighten it. Be kind, but also find some time to kind of push yourself here. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, warrior two. Awesome job. Let's reverse our warrior. Right hand comes down the right leg. Scoop the air. Inhale back up. Straighten the front leg. Hands come to hips. Step forward. Pick up the left leg. Send it back. I take my time. Please take your time to find your lines. Adjust your shoulders. Your shoulders want to stay like this. Get those shoulders stacked above the hips. And breathe. And don't judge. Be kind to yourself. Some of you are just starting out. Some of you might be doing this and be like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for X amount of days, months, years. I feel like I still haven't done anything. But you're wrong. It's a new day. Inhale through the nose. Exhale. Warrior two. Let's reverse our warrior. Left hand, left leg, scoop the air. Inhale back up. Hands to hips, straighten front leg, step forward. Excellent job. Take this moment to kind of shake it out a little bit if you need to. I sometimes get wrapped up in this idea that I don't do enough. And Gainsbourg, poet, was talking about anytime that you ever move just a grain of sand on a beach, you've done something. And whenever I get pretty hard on myself and I feel like I'm not doing enough, I always refer back to that. I know I've disturbed so many grains of sand, and so at least I've done that. And that kind of, it was like the spark that always kind of restarts me and going, no, I have done this and I have done the best that I can. You know what I mean? Just want to share that if you were getting really judgy. So, meeting in this mountain pose, let's inhale up, slight back bend, exhale, forward fold. Place hands on shins, press up to a flat back, and exhale back down. And let's pick up the right leg, send it back. Again, if you need your block here, please use it. And placing that right hand on the ground, inhale the left hand up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, left hand comes down around the back. Pull that chest open, the shoulder away, and breathe. Again, you can always come down to your right knee if need be. Love thyself. Inhale, left arm up and down. And let's stay in this, send the left leg back, pick up the right leg. Take your time, find your spot, maybe your clothes are a little bit tight or whatever. Inhale that right arm up. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, right arm comes around the lower back, pulling the right shoulder open. Good job. Inhale, right arm up, back down to the ground, pick up that left leg, come forward, meet in the forward fold. Place hands on shins, come up to a flat back. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, forward fold. Place those hands on the ground. Let's pick up that right leg, send it back, followed by the left, meeting in plank. And from plank, inhale the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Now from here, let's pick up that right leg, send the heel up towards the ceiling. Strong arms pressing through the floor. And let's begin to let that heel come back a little bit, opening up that side body. And then awesome. Don't cave into the left shoulder. Strong balance, both arms. Let's look forward, send that knee up between the hands into a pigeon pose. From here, you can always take a block and place it right underneath that hip if need be. And just find your way, walking as low as you please, and just stretching your hamstrings through here. Next inhale, let's bring those hands up underneath our shoulders. Engage that back foot, press up into plank. Beautiful. Inhale those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just being aware that your heels, if they're up like that, that's fine. That's fine. just kind of play with it. Just pay attention to your body. From here, we're going to lift up that left heel, left leg up to the air. We're going to begin to let that leg fall back. Strong shoulders, not caving into the right shoulder. Look forward, bring that left knee up between the hands. And again, you can always use the block underneath the sit bone back there. And just breathe. And keep your thoughts in your mind here. Stay with yourself, I dare you. Let's bring those hands back up underneath the shoulders. Wrist underneath the shoulders. Engage that back leg. Press up into a plank. Excellent job. Inhale, hips up towards the ceiling, downward facing dog. Just press to the floor. Excellent job. And from here, let's let our knees come down to the ground. Walk our hands back. Let's come to a seated position. Feet forward, left foot out in front. And sometimes, you can sit on a blanket here. I don't particularly need it. I don't enjoy it, but take this time, press pause or whatever, and take time for yourself. This is also a good time to grab your belt or a rope. And if you need to, you can throw that belt around, crisscross it like so, and leave it on each side of your leg. Now we're going to inhale up and out of our hips, all the while being mindful that we're not taking the back of our knee and pressing it towards the ground. So keep a slight bend there as well. So from up and out of our hips, inhale, exhale, forward fold, find that belt or rope and pull your heart towards your knee. And breathe. Next exhale, slowly come up to the seated position. Good job. Let's send the other leg out. Left foot comes in, right foot is out and straight. If you need to, you can always use your rope, your belt, put it around your leg there, your foot. Inhale up, be mindful of your knee, and exhale down. On your next exhale, slowly come back up and feel the balance recreated there. So from here, let's go to our backs. We're going to do a little bit of bridge pose, and we're going to do a happy baby and Shavasana. So let's do that. Coming to our back. Heels about 5-6 inches away from your sit bones here. Palms facing down. And from here, we might want to walk our shoulders in a little bit. We're going to inhale, lifting our hips up into the sky. Bring our hands underneath our sit bones here. And clasping our hands together, bringing them together, and press towards our heel and just breathe. Really try to get those hips up towards the ceiling. Good job. Hold and breathe. Now release those hands, palm facing down. Gonna inhale through the nose. Exhale, slow, lower, stop. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, slow, lower, stop. Still hovering just a little bit off the floor. This next one will bring us to the floor. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, slow, lower. Excellent. Okay. From here, we're going to go to our happy baby. And from our happy baby, we come up, grab the inside of her feet, maybe right back behind her heels, just like so, and begin to pull those knees towards the ground, opening up those hips. Maybe kind of pick up a little bit. Be wary of your lower back, but maybe it feels good to kind of pick up your lower back up off the floor. Just play, be kind. Maybe roll side to side. Great job. On your next exhale, let's slowly come up out of that. Enter in to Shavasana. From Shavasana, this is the first hardest yoga pose because this is where your mind can get really loud. I always like to place my hands on my stomach so I breathe into my hands. It always brings my mind to the fact that I need to breathe and just be in this moment. Maybe begin to close your eyes. And just revisit your intention for today's class. If you're still with me. But this is one of the most important, one of the hardest poses of them all. Because your day starts to rush in. Just be here. Be brave enough. Just stay here. And be commanding enough to say, I'm going to own these last couple moments, these last couple of seconds of my life. Everything else can wait. It takes guts, man. Begin to move your fingers and your toes, wiggling them. Pressing your thumb against your index finger, middle finger, ring finger, pinky finger, and then just dragging the pads of your thumb across those fingertips and start over again. Thumb to index finger, thumb to middle finger, thumb to ring finger, thumb to pinky finger. Continue that. Keeping your eyes closed. On your next exhale, slowly begin to roll over to your favorite side. Being aware of your thoughts, staying here, staying now. On your next exhale, slowly come up to a seated position, either just sitting on your mat, blanket, or your bolster. Maybe begin to open your eyes. Thank you so much for giving yourself this time and to engage with your practice. And thank you so much for spending time with me. Stay strong, use your brain, trust yourself,
And if you tend to your own fires, you can warm others. Great job, and namaste.